There truly is no stronger bond than one between a mother and her child. One visible expression of this relationship is the ease with which the baby can mimic the mother, especially her facial expressions. This phenomenon is called facial synchrony, and it has been researched by Amanda Seidel and her team of students in Lyles Porter Hall at Purdue University.
Facial synchrony is whenever the facial expressions matched within a 1-second window of one another. So if the mom smiled and then the baby smiled within a half second, say, then we counted that as facial synchrony. We did not measure degrees, and we took anything that was a smile. So even if it was really little or really big, we took all of them.
And we didn't only look at smiles, we also looked at other facial expressions such as eyebrow raising, furrowing, grimacing. Most of our facial expressions were smiles because moms and babies smiled a lot.
So the process for this was the moms would come in with the babies, and then the moms and babies would be video recorded while the mom was reading each book twice. So there were a total of 4 different readings. And then after that, the mom and the baby would go into a room, and the baby would hear words that were in the book, such as like chin, tummy, stuff like that, and then words that were in the book, such as like knee, foot.
The hypothesis was that the synchrony in facial expressions between the mom and her baby would have an impact on the baby's speech perception abilities, which we tested by looking at their speech segmentation skills.
We speak in continuous form. The words just keep coming, and so word segmentation is how a baby begins to learn to pick out specific words within the sentence.
So if we familiarize them with the word dog, they'd be able to pick out, the dog went to the park. They'd be able to recognize that word in the sentence.
We found that when a baby's facial expression followed their mom's facial expression, that did indicate word segmentation abilities in the infant. However, that was only in the body part books, and it was not the other way around. So when the mom's facial expression followed the baby's facial expression, that didn't indicate any particular result. We all had different roles, actually. Most of us were partnered with someone else.
We basically spent our hours for this research project just watching the videos through and going through separately the mother and the baby and looking at, first going through and coding all the mother's facial expressions separately and then coding all the baby's facial expressions separately. Then once we did that, we looked at their synchrony together. So we were kind of in charge of the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm. So we used the head turn preference because that's one of the only tasks that the babies in this age range would be most reliable for.
We basically measure their head turns, so how they turn their heads depending on the sounds that we're presenting to them. So this is a very common procedure in infant studies because what it allows us to do, it basically helps us test the infant's perception and what they understand and what they perceive without us asking them to do anything.
We did see moms that were more reserved and that actually had the effects on the babies too, where the babies weren't making many facial expressions in response to the mom. So in those cases, we had less facial expressions between the mom and the baby altogether than moms with the happier demeanor, always smiling. Then the baby would smile more. So that was a cool correlation that we saw in the study too. And we think that we saw more in the body book because the mom had more tactile clues with touching, do you see the nose? This is the nose, and she would touch the baby's nose. Or she would say, do you see the tummy? Here's the tummy, and touch the baby's tummy, as opposed to the animal book. So we think that the touch had something to do with our correlation that we saw.
For the amount of time we had for this study, I was pretty happy with the results that we got, but I think in a more ideal situation with a little more time, it'd be good to increase the sample size just to get a more accurate result. But overall, yeah, we were pretty pleased with the results that we got.